everybody. My name is Kevin. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. These are my friends. It's Thursday, so it must be time for Ironsworn. Yeah, these amazing people here with me today playing Ironsworn. I'll talk about Ironsworn real quick first. Sean Tompkin, amazing game. You should try it out. Co-op gaming is something I hadn't done before, and it is spectacular. And I, for one, will tell you, in my opinion, it also makes me a better DM in those other games where there is a DM and I'm in charge. Athan, the character sheets, stunning. The Roll20 character sheets. The changes took a little while for us to get used to, but they are well worth the wait. Amazing job there. And speaking of amazing jobs, because I do like a segue. These three fine people that come and join me every week, and we go down this dark, nasty little rabbit hole and see what happens. Robin playing Caradwin for us. Karis playing Amala, and Austin playing Gear. Thank you so much for joining us. I see our regulars in chat. Thanks for showing up. We appreciate it.
Can't do this without you guys.
Another night at Ironsworn. You're right, and it is so much more interesting doing it knowing that somebody's watching. But with that, I think we could just drop right in. Let's do that. As always, from your character's point of view, what happened last week? And I know we have a volunteer to go first.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but who has time to reflect on what was? There is smoke towards Kenheim. Oh, right, recap. Let's see. We had a nice day with the Giants and the home folks, and we were just barely too late to get to the Bonewalker Chasm, and the guy saluted us as he took off on an imprisoned spirit wyvern. There, now we're all caught up. Now, can we go after the smoke at Kenheim or go towards Kenheim?
That is a perfect summary of what happened last week. Anybody want to go next?
I'm still kind of blown away.
I don't know. I feel this urgency to go towards Kinheim.
All right, I can do it.
Okay.
The young hunters. So full of energy, so full of life. It's a shame to leave her here. She could practically travel by our side, maybe be some use to us. But she has a place to defend, a place to call home. And with Shenda watching over the ward put in place around home, I think everything's going to be okay. For them, at least. Not for us, of course.
Of course.
Optimism at its finest.
I found another one of the spirits. They must have wised up and found out that killing them just cycles it on to the next. Because now they're enslaving them. The Iron Collector, he has pinned one of them down, use it to shuttle himself across the continent. When I get my hands on him, I'll break every bone in his body. Meanwhile, I have no choice but to follow him as I leave the others further south. The Midnight Mantle. Safe? Not safe? Exposed? I don't know. Hopefully I'm not too late for either of them.
Nice. I can go next if you like, or unless you was that a breathing in, getting ready to talk? I don't know. I don't want to interrupt.
The Caradwin power pose. Bam!
Sure, I'll go. As always, it's defeat. Well, I figured I'd ask you this one, little one. Because as much as you are sitting there in my pack, I know you're also up there in the night sky, all dark and mysterious between the stars. What's it like? What would it be like, feet, to be one of them big dark mountains in the shadows? All that power just slumbering and waiting for something to do it on. What must that be like? All right then, don't answer. That's fine. I'll find out myself. That's it.
All right, don't answer.
Don't answer. You've
I didn't know
spoken
whether he was
once.
going to until he didn't, so apparently I was waiting for my head to answer and it didn't, so nope.
Okay. The Iron Collector has something from Edgemore. And Vadden is in some form of trade of iron. This is getting messier and harder every step we take. And we're going to have to ask him about it in one way or another. But it seems like he has the ability somehow to talk to me, which, as far as I know, is also new. But we can't focus on that right now. We've got to get to Kinheim.
Yep. So, somebody remind me, how far is it from here to Kinheim? Was it half a day on foot?
No,
It was longer than that.
Oh, yeah, because it was about half a day to. Where did I put it? I put it somewhere. I put it in chat somewhere, didn't I?
You did put it in chat somewhere.
Either way, it's a while, so it's going
Yeah,
to be. We'll
we've got,
definitely
like-
be undertaking a journey
Yes.
to
I
get
thought
there.
it was going to be like a day and a half.
Oh, here I found it. It is 2 days from Kinheim to Holm.
Okay.
And we
it's a
are
little over because we're angling at it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no roads, so we have to go through the wilderness to get back to the roads first.
Yes. So, Kinheim. I guess that would be a. Oh, do we want to do anything before we leave here? Actually, I was going to say this would definitely be a Mullah's adventure. So you'll be a rolling the die for undertaking a
rolling.
journey.
Okay, so that was evening watch
Yes.
of day 20. So it is.
We
morning
left
of day
around
21.
noonish or midday from
Hasn't even
home.
been a month yet.
No.
Nope. Hasn't even been a full 3 weeks.
It's morning of day 21. Yeah.
Yep.
And so we have less than 2 days to Kinheim.
If we push it, we might be able to get there a little bit faster.
And there's a tower of smoke that direction. We aren't actually sure if it's that far away, but there's a tower of
Yeah,
smoke
Right.
that direction.
it's in
Yeah.
the direction of Kinheim.
Oh, right.
Same direction we
So,
saw the Iron Collector from going to.
And Bill had
And
just
it's-
gotten us all up.
Yes. This would only be a troublesome journey, right? I mean, we've been down this road before. That's the minimum amount. So 3 progress per way per success. That seems reasonable. That gets us. We could check after 2 days. We'll be at 6 if we're successful. And we could roll, as this is the way the system works, right? So, but if we quickly pack up our stuff and bolt towards the Tower of Smoke.
Okay, So, undertaking a journey, and you said I'm doing it since I'm the one that says, that's smoke. We gotta go there.
Well, not to mention
Oh.
that it's your Weena, it's your Kinheim, it's your story.
It's your home circle.
Must it be mine? No, you guys are my home circle. All right.
Now,
Now, it's your birthplace, presumably.
your consequences are on fire.
Okay, do we have? Okay, do I have any reason to have any modifiers on this?
I've rolled this a lot. I should know all the stuff for it.
We're
I don't
setting
think so, 'cause
off
we're not-
to
we're not-
a community with a bond, but not from one.
No, we don't have a bond with the Bone Walkers.
No. So I would say no.
No, in fact,
It's
we
just
gave ourselves -1 on that front last time.
I think it's just a straight wits roll.
All right.
Hey!
weak hit. You reach your waypoint and mark progress, but suffer 1 supply. That's fairly mild.
Oh, I remember what I should have taken +1 spirit after that augury in the festival with everybody.
So that puts us at 3 supply now, correct?
Yes.
Just to confirm everybody's got the same number. Perfect.
Okay, so a waypoint, does that basically just mean that nothing particularly happens during the day and near the end of the day we're ready to make camp again?
Yeah,
It
we get
can.
three marked boxes on our goal of getting to that town. So yeah, and we decided these basically apply to 1 per day. So we said it was just going to be just over 2 days. After 2 days, like I said, we can roll, right? We'll have 6 full boxes, and you can roll against that if you choose to try and rush there.
So Kevin, what do we see as we're heading towards the column of smoke? Does it seem closer? Can we tell more about where it is?
Yes, as we get closer. It's not 1 column. It's 3 separate fires, 2 small ones and a larger one. It looks like, because we've been down this area before, it looks like there are 2 fires on the road between Kinheim and home. As we're approaching that from an angle now, we can sort of see them. And the 3rd one still appears to be Kinheim itself.
And we're moving. Oh wait, are we on horseback too? Do we have?
Yeah, we're on horses
Yeah.
again. So do we push on through the night? Or should I say, are we pushing on through the darkness?
So having had time to think as we ride along, I realized I really
Yeah.
ought to stop. I mean, because I can talk to somebody at Kinheim, and I should probably just do that, right?
And our horses will need a break anyway, so.
Sure. Okay. So that's
So it's
a
early
make
evening.
camp,
We're going
right?
to camp for the night.
Yeah. So
That's
make
like, and I
camp.
didn't do my morning. I didn't
We
do augury
rushed
to
out
find
this
out
morning.
what's going on. I just
Yeah,
didn't do
we
anything.
rushed out this morning in an Amala-sized panic.
And the 2 smaller fires are still ahead of us. None of them are left behind us.
So it looks like there were. But the conclusion that I would draw from that is there was several encounters, like a running encounter, that either started or ended in Kinheim.
Okay.
How close is the nearest one?
Another full day's travel, because it's a day and a half left, right? So they're all within half a day of each other, close to Kinheim.
Let's
Shit.
see. Well, we could probably get there mid-afternoon tomorrow.
If we push a
So
little bit into the night.
So yeah, say each one is like an hour's travel apart, coming out of Kinheim. That way, it fits better with the way we just map that. So yeah.
Okay.
So we'll stop if Amala needs to. Otherwise,
I don't want to go in blind. It wouldn't be smart to go in blind. I should stop. I should call ahead.
I still let them know ahead of time that we're coming.
That too.
Only polite.
Only polite. Yeah, let them know that we're expected in mid-afternoon tomorrow.
And at this point, we're back onto the kind of main drag, right?
Yeah, by
Yeah,
by
because
the
it
end
would
of
probably
yeah, we said we
it would
weren't
be
that far off of
faster.
it. So
Yeah, it would be faster to take the main like roads to places because you would be going through the woods and stuff.
All right.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna settle myself. I'm gonna pull in the light, and then I'll reach out. Instead of doing an augur, I'll reach out to Weena. But that way, if there's anything there, I'll have some research. Although, how much did I use? I had a fair amount. Assets. I need to move light up at the top. I still have 4 light. Okay, just focus. Okay.
Let's see what you got.
I'm gonna settle. I'm gonna walk the labyrinth. I'm going to reach out to Weena. I'm gonna double check my notes.
I think I've got all 3 options covered, no matter what this roll comes out as.
Ruh-roh.
Perfect. So you're attempting to scry on Weena, essentially?
I'm just reaching out to her. I'm not.
Okay.
How do I move this? 'Cause
The
I need to move light up to the top of the page.
the image you get starts off as literally raven or crows?
Crows. I mean,
Crows.
one is a subset of the other.
Okay, yes. Doing circles above Kinheim. And you can see that the main part of Kinheim itself is okay. But everything from the edge of the circle, everything from the palisade out, has been burned. So the farmlands and the little outcrops around it are all burned. As the crow spirals down and you get closer and closer, you see Weena standing in the middle of the circle with her hand up, radiating shadow, a mixture of shadow and light that is forming a ward around the village. And as you watch, it flickers and flickers again, and her hand drops, and the ward drops, and she drops and just hits the ground, exhausted.
Okay. So I'm actually going to step there in shadow form, not bodily, but I'll step there in shadow form. And
She reaches up to you
how do I
from the
want to do
ground,
this?
shaking hand.
I'm going to start out by just sort of touching her, giving her some healing with light, and then if she hands over the ward, I'll pick up the ward. If she doesn't, I'll do like an invoke to sync myself with it.
Yeah, you use that light to start to heal her, and it's for a moment there's no control on her end. It's like a drowning person like trying to climb you to get out of the water. There's a panic moment. Give me, give. But she gets just that enough to get her control, her self-control back. And as you gently take the ward from her, it's only at that moment when her eyes flutter open and she sees who it is. And she looks amazed.
We're on our way. We should arrive late afternoon, mid-afternoon or so tomorrow. How are things here? I mean, aside from the obvious, what's happening here?
I stopped him, but he's very powerful.
Who?
You? And she points to your shadow form and can't even finish the sentence. Like she's just boggled at the level that you're presenting at.
Who is it?
Not who. What?
Okay, what is it?
It is this epoch. Does not wish to die. It's trying to kill you. All of you. To stop the change from happening.
So why Kinheim?
Just because you were here.
But then what about Holm or Grey Barrow?
And it's only then she kind of shakes her. You need to stop it. It went. I sent some. And she points in the direction of the fires down the road towards home. And you get the impression she sent something, some manifestation of her magic to try and stop it. And wherever she engaged it, that's where those fires are.
Are you under attack right now here?
And she kind of digs her hand into the dirt. No. It's gone.
Okay, well, we might not be here tomorrow afternoon then.
When you do come back, Amola, I have something for you. It's nothing important, just a robe. You know what that means. She's offering you full shamanship. Not necessarily of here, but this is like your diploma, right?
What do I need to know before we go and face this thing?
I can't answer. I'm part of its world. You need to do the new thing, and I don't know what that is. You're already doing it, all of you. And you get this image of a hunter and something in the shadows and a guardian of animals and you watching them over them like a grandmother.
Okay, well, I wish us luck.
Luck.
But I will fade back away from her and return to myself. Well, change of plans, guys. That thing burned the outlying areas of Kinheim because I was there and it's on its way to home.
What is it?
I don't know. Weena was only able to say that it's the epoch that's changing. They're trying to kill us to stop the change from happening. She was trying to ward, she was fighting it with fire. Kinheim, the village, the circle itself's okay, but all the outlying areas, they're gonna have trouble feeding people. The farms and all are destroyed, burned.
And it did that because we were there.
Yeah. I feel like we're going in circles now. Which way are we? We're gonna go this way. We're gonna go that way. We're gonna go. I just.
We've been in a lot of places.
Yeah. Maybe we should just stay put and it'll come to us.
What about the fires?
The fires along the road over there are something to do with what she was doing to fight it. So it's probably ahead of those. It's probably closer to us than those.
Yeah, it's
Whatever
probably
it is.
coming right at us.
Wait, is it attacking every place we've each ever been?
That I don't know.
You
Do you
know
want
what
me to
I'll
try
bet
and-
it ain't expecting? I'll bet it ain't expecting to get ambushed. Right here on this little road.
Gear kind of shuffles a little bit. I don't think it's taking the roads. It was flying a moment ago. Can we? Can we take this thing on?
What choice do we have? If it's not on the road, then we gotta get home before it does.
We don't even know what it is.
I have a flock of crows. We can go look.
We don't really need to defeat it, do we? We just need to draw it off. Make it come right after us, not after them innocent people. Then we can just run like blazes.
We have to know.
Gear looks to Caradwin.
If this man, the Iron Collector, has control of one of the spirit creatures, he must be working with the Man of Metal. That there's no other way.
I mean, who else would he be collecting iron for?
Gear, I got a question for you. You know lots about this sort of thing. Can you tell me about approximately how angry a wyvern might be after you pulled all them iron shards out of it?
Right, pissed.
If we do this right, we're not fighting him on our own, are we?
No.
And there ain't nobody better in the whole wide world to steal an iron as me.
To be fair, a wyvern is more likely to bite anyone's hand off, not just the one who heard it.
Well, he's got to be able to see me to do that, miss. If you two can keep that big bugger, whatever he is, all amused and excited and elsewhere, then I can free that wyvern. At the very least, we've hurt his chances, haven't we?
We don't even know if that's the thing that attacked Kinheim.
You're right, we'd have to get closer and see. But either way, we got to work towards home, don't we? We got to do something.
Well, I mean, let's send out the spirits we've got and the crows, and let's let's get the forest scouting for us.
Absolutely, yes.
Let's see, if we're a little over half a day from Kinheim and it's on its way moving to us, I mean, maybe I should be doing the scanning what's here now. Lay claim right here.
So, we go. We send our critters. We find this thing. Bill, you go for the iron. I'll go for the creature. If we can get close, we may have a chance.
And Caradwin can harry it, and what can I do?
Don't hurt it.
Figure out what it is. If it's not the Wyvern and the Iron Collector, then figure out what it is.
I look to Bill.
It's going to be different this time. This is not a baby. This is not something I can foster into an ally. We go in there. It may turn on us as well.
The Wyverns of the Veiled Mountains are dangerous. I don't know about a spirit Wyvern, but
Do the Wolfren and the Awilla need... What might it do to them?
I don't think the spirits would hurt each other from what I understand. But I can't be certain.
Normally they wouldn't. Normally they exist together. But this one, he's corrupted.
It's possible it's poisoned by the iron.
We aim to free it. We can at least weaken them. I don't know.
Well, we first need to know what we're facing.
And we're pretty sure where it's going, so home it is, I guess.
It's coming right to us.
Yeah. Let's get a fire going. Let's I'll set a circle for us. So I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I can do this. Okay. Well, let's get a fire. Let's get the foundations going. Let's.
So you got a weak hit on that, so that's 1 health or minus
spirit
1
or
supply
momentum.
and 1 health. Yeah, so one
Yeah,
of
we just get one of the
anything
options.
basically. Yeah.
I'll take a momentum.
Um,
I had a hit on that.
think.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Gave
take
momentum
a
for that, too.
momentum.
I think that's all I've got that isn't maxed. Yeah.
Okay, we have the fire going. We have, and it's going to take me a good. I mean, the whole series of rituals steps I'm going to do. It's going to take me a good half hour.
and Caradwin's gonna go try and resupply / scout for information.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
And I'll send out the. Where's my whiteboard? I'll send out the crows.
Otherwise, we'll be at 2 supply by the end of the night, and that's
yeah.
not a comfy place to be.
It's really not. Yeah.
And
okay, so
Bill will spend the evening setting up an ambush. He hasn't given up on this idea yet. He's setting up shadowy places all around the road. And if Gear will help him, he will camouflage them.
I was gonna say, Gear has an idea, and so he goes over to Bill.
We're going to have to find this thing. We're going to have to lure it in. You can cling on to things with your shadow, right?
We sure can.
So, me and the white mane on the ground. You and the red crest in the sky. If something's here to be found, we will find it.
What I was thinking was, we got 4 bits of bait right here. If we just want it to come to us, one of us just stand in the middle of the road, don't we?
Maybe. I think he'd be smarter than that, though.
You know what he's not smarter than?
You're talking to the wrong person, bro.
A bloody great piece of iron, that's what. It's what he's after, innit? All the iron.
I just gave a piece of iron to Mirabelle.
Yes, you did.
Shit.
A great big one, in fact.
He
Yeah.
told us to
Now
take
I'm
it
angry.
away from home, and you gave it back.
Yep.
We're all back to full on our supply now.
Oh, thank you.
So I got a strong hit.
Nice.
Yes. I got a shit ton of momentum for doing that. My asset.
So yes, while we're preparing that, Mala, you did your light ritual?
About to.
Is that what? About to? Okay. Right, that was the prep for it, right.
And while Caradwin is out hunting, she is also going to try and gather information just on the area.
Yeah.
Just, because it's nice to do. It's only courteous. Okay, cool.
There you
You
go.
discover something
Oh,
helpful
damn.
and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take.
Well, there you
And
go.
Progress is made clear.
You find something that answers that we're all stumbled around. What should we do next? You gather information that answers that. What is it?
Trying to think, because Mala's working on the what it is exactly. So
In fact, as you look up, she's walking around the circle setting the ward.
yeah, so maybe me, Robin, will wait until
Yeah.
after she's done the figuring out what it is before I figure out what we're doing, because it makes sense. She's out hunting; it's going to take some time too. So
We should probably secure some advantage too, Kevin.
Oh, I plan on doing it in the area. Yeah, I'm using. I got a bunch of stuff I'm going to do, but I'm going to wait. So mine's all last minute. So go ahead, Amala. You were.
Ritualizing.
She's playing over in the chat. Getting stuff done efficiently.
I did burn the momentum. 'Cause she's on a roll and it's building.
On fire. Moving.
Oh, that's right. I have a new ability. Look at that.
Ooh, ooh.
That was a strong. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Oh, yes, I didn't do that for here.
So I'll just fill this little space by saying Bill reaches up into his backpack and pulls out feet and holds them out at the end of his hand and just kind of tosses them up in the air. And feet does something cockroaches normally don't do. His shell opens up into 2 wings like a beetle, and he flies off into the night.
it's a lady. I'm pretty sure it's the female cockroaches that fly.
That's entirely possible. I never asked.
Did you just assume feet's gender?
Yes, I did.
I forgot to say what
Wow,
that was.
you are smashing rolls over
We
there. I don't even know
are
what you're doing,
doing
but it's just bang,
great.
bang, bang.
Well,
I don't think I've
glowing
rolled
because
anything yet.
I'm glowing because I am spending light.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
So-
spending light.
There were many rolls. Now, I do this all the time. I do a bunch of rolls and then I tell what happens. So your turn. Use my trick.
Okay. And the going right. One more is the going right along. Oh, not wits. That's...
I looked it up, and it's a species of cockroach that has wings, not necessarily a gender.
There you go. Feet is a stellar cockroach, so
Okay. Use another light.
interstellar cockroach.
Interstellar cockroach.
Okay, so actually, at the moment, all you would know is that Amala has walked the circle. Amala has settled herself down. She has her hands flat on the ground next to her. The crows came, gathered, swirled around, and then scattered off. Oh, but now I need to figure out, what do I learn by doing this? So
yeah, Caradwin's still up hunting, finding information for herself.
I have sent my spirit out. I got a strong hit on reading the land and the nature around me. See, Kira, I'm learning how to listen. And I've sent off the crows. I'm going right along with strong cobbit. So that's sort of expanding my awareness and my view. I'm able to see what they are seeing, and with the strong hit, I'm seeing what multiple of them are seeing. So before I start improvising, does anyone else have input they want to give into what I find?
No, I'm figuring out what Feet's going to come back with. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm figuring out who I'm going to ask what Feet comes back with.
I mean, I guess, if anything, if we're wondering about whether it's the Iron Collector or not, we can always roll into Ask the Oracle table. But if you have an idea, go for it.
Well, maybe it's connected then. So let me drop this in here. When Feet gets back, I'm going to be able to look in their eyes and see this thing's darkest fear. So we can add that to the what if pile before we figure out the answer to that question. So we need to know what it is, because we need to know what its darkest fear is by the time Feet gets back. That can be a while, but...
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the first thing Amala would find out from the crows would be, what is it? Is it the Iron Collector? Is it what we saw earlier? Riding the spiky wyvern?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is, isn't it? Or does anybody have other ideas?
You think he's coming back?
If he wanted
I
to
just
get
think
us, he was... Because if he wanted to get us, he was like right across the way from us.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had time
Get to Kinheim and back.
to get to Kinheim and back. And if it were him, Weena would not have said it's a what. She would have said a who.
His darkest fear is that we save a majority even of the new animal spirits, because if we do, we will take away his power to stop the change. I just saw you change what I said. Go.
No, because she said it's a what that doesn't want this epoch to die. It's Tincture.
Oh, son of a bitch.
That ties this up. That's nice. I like this. This makes less enemies, not more, finally.
He's an elemental type entity, so that makes sense as to why it's a what. That she's
We already know
trying
he
to
doesn't
stop.
want this world to end.
And he has a
is he in
vendetta
his-
against us specifically.
Is he in his primordial form then?
That's what I would think. I don't know, but it's something
As the Iron Collector, are they the same person?
No, that's not what I was
No,
thinking.
this is just Tincture. Okay.
I was thinking what attacked Kinheim was Tincture, because he is clearly a vendetta against us. He's more of a what than a who. He doesn't want this epoch to die.
He just wants to hurt us. So he's going back to all the people that we care about to kill or hurt them.
Yeah, because
Weena
he's
held
kind of
him
with.
off at Kinheim, so he's pissed off and he's going to home.
And we
Yeah.
kicked him out of
Grey Barrow.
Grey Barrow.
So what's
And
his darkest
whatever
fear? Us. We've already tossed him once.
We shouldn't be
Wait,
his
what
greatest
if
fear. There's something else that should be his greatest fear.
maybe his greatest fear was he was this slimy little insect this whole time? Maybe his greatest fear was going back to whatever it was that holds power over him. And when we chased him to that point, we gave him no choice but to go back. Whatever it is that's supporting him redoubled his efforts and turned him back into his primordial form and put him on the last ditch. You messed
Have
this up, and
have
I'm
y'all
going to
looked
end
at
you.
the stats for Primordial?
I have not.
Because
No,
he's
not
extreme,
recently.
an extreme being that does
Well, I mean,
four
he's
harm.
just been sent back, so we don't have to
Yeah.
encounter all of that, and we don't have to kill
Yeah.
him, or we just need to drive him off or stop him
We just want him to
from
not hurt.
killing home. Basically, we need to
Okay.
redirect him. So.
Okay.
Although,
Whatever we know it has
Austin's our
fire.
scene setter usually.
I mean, I can make something up.
I've got a complicating factor here.
So if it's tincture, his darkest fear is the one beyond. He's more afraid of him than he is
Should
of
be.
us.
He's not, but he should be.
Okay.
And now Tincture in his primordial form is hungry. He's trying to
And
prove
weak.
himself to this creature.
So, he who walks behind gains amusement and feeds off of the efforts of those who use that essence, even if they use it badly, even if they use it for something that he who walks behind wouldn't like, that he still, he still profits off the deal. He still gains from that. He knows what, these minions that he's pulling the strings on, he knows what they're doing, and he knows when they are and are not aware of his influences. And as Tincture is on his vengeance quest, because he's made it very personal against us, and he's very focused on that, and he who walks behind is just chuckling and has actually laid a nice little net to snare Tincture in. And so a little further away, a little further up from us, there is a subtle row of of carvings in the trees that don't just come out from aren't just emanating from a single point, but are more of a loose net ready to catch. And knowing what to look for and looking from the other side as the crows are coming up and as Amal is coming up, it's this faint, sort of very dark with purple tinges around it of an area. It's not a fixed wall. It's more of this light mesh that is circling to catch something coming in. And anchoring key points of this are four of those altars that we had come across with the bones and the gory mass and the fresh sacrifice on them that is powering it, and all of the gore there. And it actually spans a good distance, maybe a quarter mile on either side of this. This is a wide net. And there's a dark form flitting through the trees and sometimes merging into the trees and merging into land and merging back out and flowing its way through that has not quite yet At the current pace, it will probably reach the trap in about an hour.
And when Caradwin is out, because she's out when Amala is having this uh, ritual second session of all the rituals she did, she doesn't find that we're too far out to find the altars necessarily, but she's finding the evidence of the creation of those.
The markings, which we've seen on the trees before.
Mm-hmm. And so she finds some of the markings on the trees and some of the different signs of like the process of building these altars and the kills that went through it and all that kind of stuff. And so
she can see where the centers and the focus must be based on, which trees are marked and which way it's facing. Yep. She can tell that this time it's not focused on us. But there is a voracious hunger out there that is very focused on us, that being Tincture.
And so upon finding this, independent of what Amala knows, Caradwin is going to rush back towards where we set up camp because it's concerning.
Yeah. So yeah, you come crashing back into camp. And Amala shares with us that the one that walks behind has a trap set for Tincture.
There's more altars.
It's the void. I don't know how to describe this. We've seen the void a couple of times. It's sort of hovered over us. It's using us as bait for Tincture.
Tincture.
We're bait in a trap.
Is Tincture the one that attacked Kinheim?
I think so, because that's the one coming this direction. He's different, but remember that trick he had where he merged in with the roots? And he's like doing that, except he's doing that with everything. He's doing that with the trees. He's doing that with the earth.
Why is he hunting us then?
What?
An hour? Why is he hunting us then?
The markings were pointed away from where we are. The markings from the altars. They were pointed all in kind of a central location.
They're pointed to the trap for Tincture, I think. I could see it's not a barrier. It's not as obvious as that. It's a light net.
And we're the bait?
Tincture.
Gear, what were you and the spirits finding?
Well, I was helping Bill. I didn't get a chance to go out with the spirits.
Well, you do now. A narrative space has developed.
Gear would say,
wait, what about the fire? There were fires being started. Was it Tincture?
Some of it was Weena. Some of it was the attacks and defenses she was using against Tincture.
Tincture was mainly using trees and roots. If she was spreading fire, it was to stop him from leaving a certain area. It was to try to capture him, because if there's no trees, then there's nothing he can go through.
Or if he did those net things like what trapped us with the vines, if she was trying to destroy those. This is like we have one spider going after another spider. What should we do?
Well, Tincture's going after us, which means he's coming towards home, yes?
Yes.
Then we go after Tincture.
Why doesn't Tincture know where we are?
He must. He must know that we would have come to Kinheim if he had set it on fire. If he had attacked there, he would know that
a trap.
He was setting a trap for us.
How traps are there here? We're gonna
Too
set a
many
trap for
traps.
someone who's setting a trap for someone who's setting a trap for us.
We don't need
I
to set a
think I
trap.
know why you can't see us. You said the one that walks behind is set up an ambush, essentially.
I think so. If
Well,
I'm seeing it right, but there's like 4 of those altars. Those altars we've seen. There's 4 of them out there.
well, the one who walks behind and Callista, you know they both got a bit of a, they've set up house in there a little bit. I suspect if the one who walks behind don't want Tincture to see us, he just ain't gonna see us.
He also might not be able to see with the iron.
Either way, we got about 45 minutes.
We don't need to set up an ambush if he's walking straight into the net. It's done
We just
for
need to
us.
stand beside the spider's web and wiggle our bums like a bug.
I guess.
But what happens after that? I mean, if there's 4 altars, does that mean there's 4 of those bone horde things out there?
I don't know. But that does mean there's 4 victims like Shunda.
What victims? I didn't recognize the victims. What victims
I don't know.
would he
I
use
didn't
for?
see the altars. I saw the signs of it. I don't know. But we should get going.
Where? What?
We go straight towards it.
I should recenter.
If we run away, we're only going to continue to be hunted. Now we know. At least more than they do.
What do we want? What do we want to prepare?
If anything, we can watch. Watch as this thing captures Tincture and see what kind of relationship they have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so Carradine will kick dirt over the fire that they just started up.
Wait.
Oh, before that?
Before you do that,
Somebody needs to refill their light.
somebody is going through light fast. Should we do something all together? What sort of a ritual could we do all together? What can I create on the front? What do we need?
Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss as to how to proceed on this.
Do we need something to help hide us? Do we need something to help us strike? What do we need?
We need to not get trapped by the one who walks behind. Yeah.
We
Okay.
need to be bait who knows when to get off the hook and run.
Okay. So we need we might need visage.
I'm just trying to figure out how we're gonna track this. It's not a combat. A
We'll make
progress
it up as
bar?
we go.
I guess it's got to just
Okay.
be a progress bar. Okay.
A skills challenge, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a
around.
skills challenge sort of project. Yeah, I like that. Let's do a skills challenge Ironsworn style.
Okay, so I am going to do a variant on Visage.
Okay.
So we're going to do a series again. So I'm taking some of the hot ash that is around the edges of the fire, and
Do we have time for rituals?
we've
How
got
long do we have? 45
Minutes.
minutes?
Basically an hour, right? So
well, basically 45 minutes. This won't take very long. It's more setting and intent. The oil from the oil from my green paste. Okay, so I use a little of the ashes and a little bit of my salt and a little bit of the green powder, and I use the oil because I was sitting here. I was about to slice my hand open to use blood to bind it. It's like, no, we're dealing with he who walks behind. I am not giving that to him. But I still have oil with my with my henna. So I use that as the binding. Okay, and we actually still have the circle. Oh no, if I dismiss the circle, I haven't dismissed it. But
nope.
gather around, guys. Gather around, guys. Let's.
Step into the circle.
Sit.
And so I'm going to recenter with the. Going to recenter with the labyrinth. Oh wait, I've got you guys. So that's one there. I'm
Nice.
going to. How much light? Okay, that's down to 2 light. I'm going to do this first. I'm going to take the paste and I'm going to go around the circle. Nope, I'm going to do light twice. I'm going to do light both before and after.
Yeah. Might as well.
You kid, I only have 3. That'll get me through this. So I'm going to go around and to each person, I'm going to use a little of the paste that I've made. And I'm going to mark a line down the forehead, down the nose with that. And I'm going to breathe light into each of us as I go around and do this. And then in the end, as I get back, I'm going to use the last little bit as I breathe in more light. And actually, wait, where did I see that? Okay, so this is for the visage. What does that do? I lost it. Well, and I don't have visage as an asset, so.
Rituals.
Weak hit is above, but it's gonna ask for blood.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's
Only
perfect
your
though.
harm.
Okay. Slicing open my hand and taking the 2 harm. Here's my health. Here's my health.
Wow. 2 harm. That's significant. That's
And
40% of what you've got.
That's a weak hit.
Yeah.
And I add 1 to the threat. How do I do this? There.
Threat
Magic.
tracker.
There,
Yeah.
it lit.
Yeah,
I add 1 to the threat for blown and blood magic. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back. So that's after marking around. So there is actually blood in that mix to bind it.
Yep.
And I'll come back and I will breathe in the light again. And I only have this cheeks. I'm out of light now if I used it all for that.
Guys, we're getting friendship henna tattoos.
There's a
start out
strong
and
hit
back
when it
up at
counted.
6 light.
Yes, where
Okay.
it counts.
We're on a roll today.
That's because I'm burning through light quite literally. Oh my goodness. But that's how to do that if I want to do a lot of it. Okay.
Plus
This has-
7, plus 6, plus 7.
Okay, so this has probably taken us 20 minutes.
Yep, it's coming. Bill has found a very dark place in the shadows, and if you look and see, he keeps taking on a form that is familiar. He's using his shadow walk. He's practicing. He's combining what feet brought back to him too, because I guess this thing, Tincture's greatest fear, would be the one who walks behind, and that's what Bill is trying to use to shadow, wreathing himself in shadows to make himself look like the one who walks behind. And it's like he's practicing. It's pretty clear what he's going to try and do. He's going to try and jump out and scare Tincture to distract him from
Love
the real
it.
one who walks behind. So,
We'll find out how aware Tincture is of he who walks behind.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I think Tincture thinks of himself as being on top.
Yep. But this is his greatest fear, so his greatest fear is that he's not the one who walks on top. But what's Gear doing for this last 20 minutes, half an hour?
Gear is.
Well, we got to get to where the trap is, right?
Yeah. And so as you guys are preparing, Gear is off a little ways. He's kind of crossed his legs over where it's nice and quiet and is sitting quietly with the white mane and the red crest, and he is listening to the forests. And rather than forcibly retrieving sound, he is just opening himself up to whatever the forest wants to tell him. And he can hear the... Oh, I guess I should probably roll for it then.
You gather information?
Yeah. And then we'll see if this isn't a +6 or a +7. Oh yeah.
Oh dear.
I think I have to pay the price.
Or burn momentum.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need my momentum.
Yeah.
So on a
Unearth.
miss, unearth a dire threat or reveal an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest, and pay the price. So you can roll to pay the price if you want some inspiration.
I would
Is
love.
it a
I love
double
to just
trap?
see what it says. Let's see here.
Yeah.
You can always disregard it.
Is it a double trap?
Pay the price. You're
It
damn
is
right, it's
stressful, so
stressful.
you take stress. Yeah.
Everything in this game is stressful. That is a horrible one to have.
But
Yeah,
I am
you actually take a
enduring
stress,
stress in the company of my hound.
Yes, you are.
So I do get a +1. Roll spirit, +1. Let's see. Come on.
Strong hit. Oh yeah, just go with it.
Embrace the darkness. I'm doing it. I'm going to take the momentum.
Sure.
And so I'll take -1 spirit. And as Gear is sitting there, letting the forest speak to him, he can hear the footsteps of something moving quickly through the forest. Not little tincture footsteps, large, solid foot pads that are hitting the earth. It still sounds like the person is barefoot, but they're moving far more quickly and they're far heavier than, well, the last time he saw Tincture. But the thing that bugs him the most is he keeps getting distracted from focusing on this quarry by the low wails of something in the forest, the cries and whimpers. And when he finally stops focusing on tracking Tincture, even though he can't really get a beat on him, he starts to listen in closer to these wails and realizes that the source of them is the totems that are hanging in the trees. They're not dead. They can't be dead. The power
Oh.
is in the life that is bled from them. And he
Okay,
has to
that's
sit there
stressful.
and listen to it.
Wow.
Robin, your mouth's open. She's like, this sick fuck.
So, with
Yikes.
that, we head towards our encounter, and I'm looking at faces here. We're only like an hour and 15 minutes in, but I think this might be the place to take a little break before we have our actual tincturized encounter. So, let's take, just because of the way the clock works, let's take 18 minutes and come back at the bottom of the hour. So, until then, we will see you shortly.
Oof.
There we go. We are back. We have returned. That did not feel like long enough to recover, but here we go anyway.
We'll recover when we're dead.
When we're done, yep, absolutely. I think I got a day off this week. We'll do it then. But until then, let's plunge back in. What's the plan?
Gear is going to come ripping back into the clearing where everybody else is.
They're still alive. Listen, look. We need to go find the altars. We need to go destroy them. Whatever it is, we've only seen the ones that are already spent. Those that are hanging in the trees. They're still alive.
Okay.
And then he runs. Beep, 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 beep.
Yep,
Divide and conquer.
yep,
Like separate directions.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, you
I'll-
described
I'll
where they
tell
were
what I
earlier,
know.
so
Yeah, I'll tell what I know about that. I'll take the one furthest left.
I'll take whichever one. I'll be the last to move, so whoever's whichever one doesn't matter. So,
I am
Gear.
running through the forest with my eyes closed.
yeah,
And Amala does hesitate a little as she steps outside of the circle, but she does it and then picks up her skirts and runs.
right.
Gird your loins. Yes.
running through the forest with your eyes closed doesn't sound like a good idea, but okay.
Yeah, I'm just listening. I'm using my ooh to get me there.
Yeah, it says Amala.
That's it. That's as far as I know about this
Oh.
all this cosmic shit. That's just like, ooh.
See there, you know the important
The
piece, right?
juju.
Fake it till you make it. That's why I'm like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Echolocation.
I'm literally running through the forest screaming.
And the
You
void
said you-
screams back.
Yeah, you said you wanted to get to an altar first, so
And so Gear skids to a halt, staring up into the trees at this figure. And this one isn't as high as they usually are. It's a little bit more kind of lower hanging, but the arms are kind of stretched out to either side, suspending it, and the head is low with the hair draped over the face, and the body is freely bleeding down. I'm gonna close my window here. The body is kind of freely bleeding from where these openings have been made, and these animal bones and antlers have been pushed into it to make it this kind of undead totem. And there's this soft pained whimpering and sharp inhalation against the wounds that have been inflicted. And this Gear looks up to this creature.
Don't move. I'm going to get you down. Give me just a minute.
And he begins to kind of climb up into the tree, and there's a kind of whimpering and an arousal from the the suspended figure as there's kind of this garbled speech.
He goes, no, don't talk.
And as he reaches up and begins to cut free the lines and the figure drops to the ground, he gets down near close to it, brushes the hair out of the face. He doesn't recognize the figure, but he sits there and the figure is bleeding from the mouth and kind of coughing up this stuff.
No, don't speak.
And the figure manages to get out one word.
And she goes, run. Gear. What? What do you mean?
As the figure begins to bloat and writhe, and before he can get out of the way, detonates in black acidic ichor.
Now we know where they come from.
And that's as far as I got. So
That's perfect because
Is that a face
In the-
danger, though?
in
absolutely.
the near distance, yeah, there's got to be some rolling going on there, but in the near distance where we know that Tincture is approaching us, there's a crack like the biggest tree in the forest breaking.
How far away does it sound?
Sounds like it was right where Tincture should be.
So getting close.
Next. I got the
So the
punchline, so I can't go next.
So as Amala comes up towards where she knows the the altar is, and she's coming up, and she slows down as she gets there, and she's, feeling the essence as she's invoking the land around, and she starts by sort of raising a virtual shroud around it to kind of obscure. Let's see. So that's sort of the an illusion to kind of sort of obscure a little bit and protect it as it's not strong enough to be a ward, but as she steps in and starts to come up to the figure, and this is going to be a secure and advantage. With essence. Oh, is that how much essence I spend, or is that what my essence is?
I couldn't tell you.
Is it roll essence? Yeah. Either way. That is.
Is that how much? Let me look back at invoke. No, it should have been what my essence is, so it should have actually been 6.
Okay. So that is still a weak hit.
Okay, and so then she goes up and within that shroud, she's not as deft at climbing trees, and she takes a deep breath, and she climbs up on the altar in order to get up to the person, and she asks, "Free or you know, do I free you or kill you?" And the person looks at her steadily and says, "It's a no-win either way." And she looks into the person's eyes, and it's like trying to decide and trying to decide. And they're right, it's a no-win either way. But if she kills the person, the loss is hers. If she leaves them alive, the loss is theirs. So she pulls the dagger out and plunges it into their neck to kill them as quickly as possible.
And the moment they die, there's a lightning bolt at that same point in the distance.
So now Invoke normally has enduring stress
Yep.
with the weak hit.
I would
I
say
can
you are stressed.
Yeah, I think we
well
did an endure harm on the last one. This is an endure stress makes sense on this one. Yeah.
well, and I think I also up the menace on he who walks behind.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
I actually rolled pretty okay on my face danger, guys.
Yep. You did indeed.
Oh, actually, I should face stress, shouldn't I? Let's see.
Oh yeah, endure stress.
Endure stress, which is somewhere here.
Roll spirit
Endure, suffer moves.
or heart, whichever is higher.
Oh, my spirit was 5 before I did that. Okay.
Oh dear.
What does that mean?
How many? Oh,
Endure stress.
Suffer spirit equal to your foe's rank or as appropriate to the situation, which would probably be 2.
yep.
On a miss, also suffer 1 momentum.
Yep.
How is Amala doing on spirit?
Fine,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
pretty healed up. We were
I'm,
walking
I'm,
wounded there for a while, but
I'm still doing better on spirit than I am on health at the moment.
Yeah.
entering into our third week, we're mostly bandage free.
Surprisingly.
Emotionally pricked. But yeah.
And roll the oracle.
Oh.
Actually, it was I'll just say if you're at 0 spirit. Oh, I wasn't at 0 spirit, so I don't have
Oh
that.
no. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Yep.
I was worried about that situation.
That's a really cool
Uh,
roll, though. I hadn't even seen that one. I very carefully don't read the lists because I want it to be a surprise when it comes up. But
Yeah.
Okay,
So as oh sorry.
yeah, I'll take the hit, and I don't even know what I'm supposed to do from here. I guess head to bear witness to what's going on with Tincture, so I'll head that direction. We didn't talk about that. Okay.
okay.
And so as Caradwin is running towards the altar that Amala said, where she kind of pointed out one was, she's moving quickly, but she's also trying to gauge the situation around them so as not to like get surprised. So she is going to try to gather information as she moves.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Oh.
Come on, guys.
You found something, but it wasn't what you were looking for. What did you find?
Know.
And how is it bad? Oh.
Well,
Oh. May I?
yeah.
You bust into the clearing where you know the totem is, just in time to see them of their own free will pull one arm free and start to fall out of the mesh of bone that they're in.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, that's a good. That's a good one. And she will, in kind of a futile attempt, try to rush and catch them because she knows that it's. I mean, it's clear they're not going to want to survive, like want to live through
Yeah.
this next part.
Mhm.
And so she'll try to catch them and let me see. I got a miss. I'm not going to burn that momentum because I'm worried about what comes next. So,
So you catch them, and one arm accidentally falls on your shoulder, and the other arm very intentionally wraps around your back and lands on your pack.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you just twist out from under it.
Yeah, to see what the damage is, if they're still struggling to survive, or if they are becoming something
tell
else,
us.
if they're undercoming. And she's I think when she flips them around and tries to like look at them to make see what's going on, she doesn't recognize who they are, and they look up at her and their eyes are completely black, and their hands are completely black. So that's why it messes with resources, because touched your pack, because
It's a
Caradwin's
blight.
pack.
Yeah.
Caradwin's pack is cursed apparently, and it's happened before.
Yeah.
But
It just seemed like the easiest way to waste resources.
yeah, I mean, it could be worse. And so clearly they're not fully human anymore. She doesn't know exactly what it is. She doesn't want to stick around to find out, so she's going to pull out a dagger and slit their throat. If it will stop it. She doesn't know for certain.
And as you cut the throat, there's a very, very localized, like a mini tornado moment of wind at that same point.
Yeah. Not great.
And then another clearing, following Amala's instructions, and Feet, who is a cockroach and is very good at finding dead and dying things. Bill runs into the last clearing. And the random villager up in the tree, is not what he sees. And he makes his way slowly up to it, and he looks up, and it's him. Right. It's the one looking up. I know who you are. The one up in the tree. I'm you. That's not quite right, that is. You're Bill, who's just a thief. I'm you. Nope. Bill, who's just a thief, and he pulls out the brass thing and puts it around his hand. Bill, who's just a thief, is fucking dead. And Beats just starts punching the face of this totally not Bill villager and into a pulp. And at the end of that, the blow that finally kills him, there's a poof, like a small earthquake at that same tincture location. And I assume we're all making our way there?
Yeah.
It looks like a meteor hit the ground here. There's a crater, there's fire damage, there's wind damage. There's shrapnel of trees blowing in all directions. It's like a mini Tunguska. There's no trace of any creature living or dead in that crater. At least from here.
Is it quiet?
It is now, yeah. After this explosion, the birds are all quiet. I mean, for a couple seconds, there's the boom, 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 chunks of earth coming back to the ground after this big explosion at the end. But it feels clean? Yeah. The taint is gone.
Gear looks to the others.
They couldn't be saved. I tried. I pulled her down from the trees. Whatever did this, whatever created these totems, if you interfere, if you don't kill them outright, they'll try to kill you. Luckily, the white maid was there. She hit me first. I managed to get out of the way. And so, now what? We've cut free the net. Do we wait? Or do we run?
Wouldn't he already be here? And Caradon has been is like once she got to the area where they would look, she's like by her pack, cutting off the bits of like the like on her pack so that nothing else like gets ruined.
Maybe at
And
that
it's just
point you
throwing
find
it.
a bunch of like stuff inside is rotten and whatnot. It's,
Yeah.
It's minus
She's
one
getting rid
supply,
of,
right?
It's
Technically.
like mold. Like she's getting rid of everything that touched like
Yeah.
in any regard.
So how
I
much
think
are we taking off supply?
Just one supply.
It's just one, yeah.
Light food.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, this bit's done. I think we're off to rescuing more baby animals, aren't we? Or are we off to find your brother again?
And one of the first things that sort of resumes sound and motion is a flock of crows settling in the trees around us.
We were following the iron collector.
And this isn't the iron collector.
We can find him. I pull out my little compass.
I'll send word to Zahn, but I don't think the threat is still moving that way. I think
What about the altars? The thing that attacked us by home, or like Grey Barrow.
I don't know. But Tincture was on his way to home. He was going to get there and he was going to do harm to those people. We just exposed that something is hunting him. And like a rat, he's going to hide. He's going to
Or he
bide
was
his time.
trapped.
What do you think?
I don't know how any of this works, but if that was a trap set for Tincture, That was a pretty effective trap.
I mean, to be fair, that little shit ran away from the four of us. And the four of us ain't nothing capable of doing that. Point at the gigantic hole in the four, the four huge events that happened.
So what are the chances that the bone hordes are still here or arrived anyway?
That would be 4 of them. Would it be a 50-50 situation, or would it be less than that?
Well, I mean, do they arrive? So the question is, do they arrive when the
Are they
victim
connected to the totems?
dies? Do we?
They're connected to the totems. When the bone horde showed up for us, Shenda was already dead.
Maybe they're lured to the spot because of its dark ritual thing. I thought the first one we fought was being puppeted by somebody.
Yeah, we don't know.
I was assuming the one who walks behind, but I thought that since it was a dark ritual, the bone horror was attracted to it, and the one who walks behind took that opportunity to grab a hold of it and use it to fight us. But
so, if left to their own devices, they sort of haunt the places where the totems were?
I would imagine that they'd be attracted to such
sense.
a dark,
Things
nasty
like that.
ritual. But
So
Okay.
so what are the
50-50 on-
chances that
so
if we know that,
50-50
then-
so yeah, so 50-50 on whether we have to face them, and then a 1d4 on how many, if it's a yes.
Yeah.
what are
Well,
the
if they're,
Sounds like
if
a
they're
good
just
idea.
the thing is, if we know that they're attracted to those locations, we can just tell people don't go there. Like they can just
Yeah, I don't
basically
think we
turn them
know
into
that much,
minefields,
though.
right? Don't go there.
Yeah.
But we that's the question: is how
I
much
don't think
would
we know that, though.
Yeah.
then the
We-
question becomes,
Can we purify them with fire and light?
did we interrupt the rituals in time, or
Yeah.
Yeah, are they
did
even
we
formed?
fulfill it?
Did we trap 4 of them in the nether regions waiting to come but not able to come because we broke the totems before they died?
So I would say
We know
roll
the
on
answers to none of these questions. I'm reminded of the 80s show Soap. At the end of it, it was always, will they find out this? Will they find out that? Tune in next week.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I think if we roll on the 50-50 chart and it's
we roll
the
4
answer,
times?
well, no, just the once, and if it's a yes, then 1 or
we-
4, we figure out how many will be showing up.
Yeah, roll 1d4, I
if-
think. Yeah.
If it's a no, then we interrupted it enough.
It's a no.
Yeah, we
stopped
then we
them.
interrupted it enough, and the altars are interrupted, so they will.
But we don't know for sure.
But we don't
That's
know
what
that.
No.
happens. Our
Yeah.
Yeah.
characters
So
don't
as long
know.
as
We have to,
us know.
yeah. Yeah, in character, there still have to be an augury or some sort of thing done to determine that. But yeah, so for there we
So-
go. This is fun because you get out of character, in character. Okay, back in character. Now that we know what the out of characters know.
Well, I don't. We were starting to set camp. We do not want to camp here. Travel through the night, but to where?
I mean, the closest place is Kinheim.
Yeah.
We'll never be able to catch the Iron Collector. He's too fast.
I don't think he's our primary target anymore, is he?
He has an enslaved spirit.
Like, we need more free spirits on our side to offset that, I think. I mean, it was all brave and whatnot wanting to run in and save it, but you're right. What if we run in and start pulling out them iron shards and all it does in response is eats me? I think if we maybe add more of them and point to the Wolfren and Uwilla, that maybe it would see the light of reason and let us pull them out, because it's going to hurt. I mean, pulling out all them spikes, I'd bite me too. And I know me.
The Iron Collector had Edgemore colors. And last night, Vadden spoke to me somehow. I told Amala things happened so fast this morning. I don't know how it happened, but he was there in some regard.
You think he's going back? Is this the road home?
I mean, it's the road to Kinheim. Kinheim leads to the main trade route. I don't know who the Iron Collector is, but there's something connecting him to the Veiled Mountains.
If we travel through the night, we can probably get to Kinheim in the morning.
Mala, did you sense anything last night? You did see traces of blood and bone magic.
Oh, that's true, I did.
Caradron doesn't know that, but Robin has it in her.
Yeah. It's like,
What does Metagaming
nothing,
Pigeon says? Yeah.
nothing beyond the after effects of. Nothing beyond the after effects of what, probably of Vadden, of the messenger to you. I think I saw the after traces of that. I don't think I saw anything else.
So it was some kind of ritual.
Bone and blood.
Joy. Well, that
Yeah,
is a new development.
It's got a nasty aftertaste.
What is he doing?
But is it him? I mean, Bill saw the Iron Collector, but maybe didn't see the Iron Collector. Maybe.
And she'll reach into her bag and pull out the fletching feather.
Yeah, but somebody knew a hell of a lot about Bill to give him that experience. What if it's pulling it out of you? What if it's pulling it out of your own spirit or your own mind or something like that? It would know what to create.
Can it create things? Is that possible? I thought what Bill saw was a vision.
Well, it felt as real as, but I'm not one to judge.
I don't know where we should go next.
Well, let's go to Kinheim. We'll get some rest when we get there. Rest within its wards. I know that they were tested and tried, but we can also add to them.
I think that might be a. Never thought I'd say this, but Kinheim, I think, might be a nice, safe place for us.
How long is
Peter,
it?
what are you thinking?
How long is it to Frostmouth?
Through the mountains.
Days.
Days.
By the time we get there, he'll have come and gone. We can't keep up with a wyvern.
No.
But we know what they're after. They're after iron. And they're after the spirits.
So we go find your spirit then.
But first, I think a night under one of them real nice wards might be called for. Kinheim's practically on the way. Besides, I ain't sleeping here.
No, but
No.
aren't we headed the wrong direction for the spirit scare?
As long as we get out of here. This is not safe. I can hear things. This is not good. We move.
Kenai may be out of the way, but it's close, and we can always go a different way in the morning.
Well, we're
I think
gonna
you
be
said it was
pretty
on the main
tired.
trade routes, so it would be on the faster routes to go, right? So,
Yeah. So we can go there. We can get there. Oh, probably before dawn if we push through, but we're gonna be exhausted, and we're gonna need to rest.
I'll roll us an
So,
undertake a journey, and we'll see
undertake a
how
journey.
bad it is.
Just trying to figure. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. Is there anything that we do to make this? Well, we just make.
Do we want to burn or try to purify the sites, the 4 sites?
Ooh.
I think, at least in my head, there was a clear impression that the magic had ended with the death of the people when we broke the totems.
Yeah, but there's still these really nasty.
Well, there's nasty things sitting in the woods. Yeah,
I mean, there's still nasty altars with
Yep.
sacrificed people on them, and
This is fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should take some time and
burn it.
take care of those.
I'm not very good at setting fires, but I can gather wood.
So we take a couple hours to make some pyres and
resupply for wood.
yeah.
Ooh, this would be a good time for us to go around and say what is left over, since none of us are really there.
Well, I was going to say, I did not mention after Bill beat himself to death, essentially. I didn't roll or do anything. I just took him down to 1 spirit. He was at 5, he's at 1 now. So that is flat. If it was 0, he'd be unconscious. I can't do that. So, but he is, even for Bill,
you can still
he's
be at
looking
0.
cadaverous.
Yeah, you can still be at 0. You just can't take more. Then you'd be unconscious.
No, then you get to face
Oh
desolation.
no, then you'd get face desolation.
You're absolutely right. So
I'm
he is at
gonna
0.
I'm gonna start foraging for.
Bill needs to stop taking spirit damage. That's what almost killed him last time.
Okay, I'm gonna start foraging for fallen wood.
And I guess I will lead you guys to my totem first. So the aftermath of this, you see the black splash zone, this detonation that has basically inked the sides of trees and is eating away at this like necrotic energy that's eating away at the bark, this smoking kind of corpse-shaped hole in the ground, and then a tuft of grass that has been torn up from where the white mane managed to take gear and slam into him to get him out of harm's way just in time. But as we get there, there are like worms crawling through the wreckage of this, but they're not like earthworms. They're like small vertebrae that are connected to each other that are just like clicking as they wiggle and disappearing into the earth.
Okay, here, you take this wood. You start piling it up for that. I'm starting a circle here. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'll start
Flamethrower.
Yeah. Wrong game.
Kill it with
Wrong
fire.
game. Yeah. But yeah, we build a fire and start burning it. Yeah. And you're gonna do a ritual circle, Amala, around this
I'm
one?
gonna do a ritual circle, and I'm gonna do a
think
ritual
so,
circle
yeah.
around that. Yeah.
Are you
yeah,
gonna?
yeah.
Is she gonna do that for every single one of these?
Apparently, yeah.
Yep.
Well, Gears was a special case because he's the only one that didn't kill his. He tried to
Yeah.
save him and then must have triggered some kind of trap. So
Yeah.
this might not be what happened to all of them.
The self-defense.
mine was-
yeah, the self-destruct
Mine was already
mechanism.
overtaken in the blight, so.
Okay.
Mine was a completely innocent bystander. Oops.
That went, oh, thank God you're here to save me. Oh, why?
Stop hitting me! Not in the face! Not in the face!
I'm
Ooh.
still
Okay.
alive. I'm just
So
very
this
badly
one
burned.
This one has a nice snapped in, nice firm ward around it.
Yes.
I feel like you're glaring at me while you're saying this.
No,
If
of
we
course
were at the
not. Would I
table-
do that, Austin?
If we were at the table, I would feel it, like the eyes
Yeah.
in the side of your head, like, uh-oh.
And yeah, so the
I would say
fire
I'll take it out
inside
on
the
you on
ward.
Tuesday, but that's a little odd for a player to say to the DM. So anyway, okay, so we have a nice ward. Did you guys pile up the
Yep.
fire?
The wood inside. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think
Somebody,
when we
are
light
going
the
to be
wood, there's a
outside the
very
circle.
yeah,
We're going to be outside the circle and light the fire inside the circle.
absolutely. And the fire, I think, it'd be quite easy to tell that the fire burns the area clean quite quickly. With the ward, it kind of makes the fire special.
And it keeps it from spreading.
Yes.
Okay, so the next site, which is the next one? Is the next one Bill's or Caradwin's? Because I kind of feel like Gear and I went to opposite ends.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably Caradwin's.
Okay.
Okay.
And so when we get there, the altar is mostly like undamaged in that regard because the person pulled themselves free. So there's not any signs of like Caradwin actually cutting them down. But where the body lies, everything in almost a very like an ovular shape is dying from this blight that was in it, and the
Yeah.
skin is slowly going all black, kind of like that ichor color that we've seen before. And just like its person is dead, but there's still that tainted amalgamation of dark magics there.
Ooh, gross.
Yeah,
this
that's the
time,
grossest
I
thing
think
we've described tonight.
Yeah, the circle might have to be bigger this time by the sounds of things. And maybe
Yeah, it's not
hurried
really
a little
large,
bit.
it's just around the body.
Is
yeah.
the blight still slowly growing? Or has it stopped?
It looks like it's stopped, but it could just be spreading very slowly.
Right. So Amalda, another circle
And
around
gathering,
it as we
gathering
yeah,
wood. Okay, here's another pile of wood.
bam.
All
We
right.
are
Put the
never
fire
going to get to
inside.
Kinheim.
Finish the circle.
And we're gonna set the circle.
Boom. Yes. These are no longer polluted places in nature. They're not like shrines to nature by the time Shaman
Holy
Amal is done
places.
with it. Holy places, yes. For all of time.
Okay.
So another one goes up in flames and radiant light. Then Bill leads you through the forest to his, which is a young man with the still hanging in position in this totem, all the bones and everything still stuck in him, but his head, the skull, is just pulped.
I'm getting tired of guys on this wood gathering.
Yeah.
Oh, you would think we wouldn't need too much wood.
I
So
just
you just caved his face in?
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
I need
Yeah, I feel like
to-
it's kind of like there was a trend and now there's not.
One of these things is not like the other?
hang on, there's something I need to do here. Where is it? There it is.
Don't do it. Don't face desolation.
No, I'm just still gonna do a face, a roll stress to see, or an endure stress. So I persevere.
God.
Oof. I
I
find
was
that
gonna
hard
say,
to believe.
You're fucking dead.
Well, because he just realized he didn't kill what he thought he killed.
Yeah.
It wasn't him. He also wasn't very clear. The one that was up in the tree was Bill, who was just a thief. The one that killed him is Bill the hero? He's certainly Bill, not the thief anymore. He promised not to
You're
steal to the one of the
purveyor.
elders, right? So, but yeah, then to
To
come
the
back in, like,
giants.
that was bad enough. That was enough to just totally put him off of his game, and then to come back and look up and it's like, I just beat some like young person to death with the big chunk of chain. So yeah, this time he does not help Gear with the wood. He just stands against the tree and stares.
Carradine will while Amal is doing the circle.
And we have a word. It's not as strong a word as the others, but
But this one probably doesn't need as strong a foot.
No. Yeah.
hopefully not.
And then off to the last one. Has anything happened since we got there? Oh.
It's like, well, I'm not gathering any more wood.
Yeah.
Carradine holding 3 big piles of wood. We got enough.
Pay the price. Pay the price. Oh, and this is gonna be.
Oh,
Okay, pay the
Lord.
prices. Where? Well, and as I come up to the one.
It's under Oracle moves right at the top, isn't it?
It should be under moves, I think,
Oh,
right
yeah,
at the
it's
top.
right at
Yeah,
the top.
fate moves.
Bait moves, that's it, yeah.
Wait. Yeah,
Does the
pay the
oracle
price.
say?
Okay, roll the oracle.
It is stressful.
And that particular die is stuck.
It
From 1 to 99, it is stressful. 100, it is hurtful.
is harmful. You lose a resource. Well, thanks.
Yeah. So take a stress. That's fair. This would be very stressful.
Especially with her caution around blood magic.
Yes.
Because she killed them.
So without the fire, there you go. You endured distress, so that's a straight. You persevere, so that's not a problem.
Okay.
And then the circle.
I can embrace the darkness.
Just casting and ritualing and casting and ritualing.
Good thing there's no. Good thing there's not a limit on those.
There's this
Yeah.
group of fires in the
So
forest.
as we come up, the shroud illusion is kind of still there. So as we come up to it and stepping into that, it's like stepping through a veil. And stepping inside, it's like a softer world, a softer. It has kind of a descriptions.
Mhm.
It has like it was surrounded in a comforting embrace, a gentling in it that
Yes.
illusion brought, that when as Amala did that. And it's very clear that the woman was killed, and this was Amala, so it's very clear who she was killed by. I don't know if I can do this one. Okay. Well,
And we'll set up the fire.
set up the fire. Hopefully you've got enough wood for it
We've
I
got
didn't
lots. You
gather any.
I
You
figure
found so
if
much
we
wood.
saved, if we saved some sticks from each pile, we'd have
Yeah.
enough for last
It's
one.
like if my as my feet drug more and more getting here, and it's heartbreaking, but I'll put that into it for the circle to contain this one.
Yes.
Woo.
And Amala, just through the haze of exhaustion and pain and suffering and sense of overwhelming responsibility, majorly puts one out of the park solid word around this one. Finishing the square.
Well,
Or the
and
shape, the diamond.
using the veil that was already there.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then the four of us stumble off.
And I feel like I should absorb the essence of that fire, but I don't have the heart to do it.
Nope. We ride off into the darkness towards Kindheim.
Now we've probably spent a few hours at this.
It's going to be mid-morning by the time we
Caradwin
get there.
will ride
and we are
beside-
going to be the walking dead by the time we arrive.
Caradwin is going to ride beside Amala as they make it because she saw how exhausted she was. So that
Yeah.
if she goes falls asleep, she's not falling off her horse.
Oh yeah, Bella is basically laying forward on the neck of his horse, just collapsed.
Yeah, Caradwin's forcing it.
Ear is trying to be alert, but is so distracted because he's having what he thinks are auditory hallucinations. And he keeps kind of snapping his heads towards him, but he hears the skittering of rat feet in the distance. And the chittering of teeth and squeaking and what seem like garbled, animalistic kind of murmurs and muttering that are just beyond his auditory register. Whispers. Laughing. Rats. Somewhere loose in the trees. And that's how he rides to fucking Kindheim.
In the dark, yeah. The sound
Yeah.
of rats in the forest around us.
Yeah, Caradwin does her best to guide the other horses,
Yeah.
guide
Yeah.
Bill and Amalas especially, and get them to Kindheim. Which is probably actually rather easy in the dark because I imagine the fires around Kindheim are still going.
At least I mean we can, this is the Bronze Age. We can read the sky like a clock at night. I know how to do it. Actually, it's not that the sky rotates in 12 hours at night. You can actually literally read the sky like a clock. And know the directions. But yeah, we all the rest of the night plow on, and the dawn comes up, and it's that thing where you're so you don't even notice. You're just walking along, and suddenly you look up and it's like, hey, I can see.
Yeah, the birds are chirping.
Yeah, birds have started. Yeah, I am not basing this on stumbling home drunk after a 4-day party. I'm not.
As we're escorted by an owl, a wolf, and a flock of crows.
Thank you. I've been looking for a reason for how we got through unhindered, and it becomes clear as the sun comes up that the crows have formed this sort of hemisphere around us, and nothing
like a dog shepherding sheep, to the right area
exactly.
and kind of keeping them safe.
Yeah. I like that very much. For all the hard work Amala put in yesterday, he gets an actual favor from the crows instead of laughter and the wrong answers.
Hey, I like my crows.
No,
no.
Also,
perspective and humility.
There's more crows than normal because
Yes.
Vina sent some of hers.
Yes, I like that very much.
Aww.
Because where I wanted to go next was we stumble into Kindheim. Even the horses are thrashed.
Their head man's not going to be happy to see us.
Well, here's the thing. It's not him that meets us. It's an
Oh, I know.
exhausted-looking Weena. And she helps each one of us in turn off of our horses. Amala last of all.
And Amala apologizes for being early. I know we said late afternoon or not at all, but
And she steps a half a step back after helping you to the ground, and as you start to speak, she drops to one knee and bows.
oh, that's creepy.
Mala says out loud.
Well, yeah, I think Amala would recoil some. It's like,
Caradwin's like half asleep at this point. He's like,
I think this is Gear's first time meeting Weena.
I think so,
"Probably
yeah.
is."
oh, I think it is, yeah.
She looks beat. I mean, she put everything she owned into keeping
And you-
Tincture out of this village.
Been hearing all these horrible stories
Yeah,
about
Bill
her. This
hates
is your first
her.
exposure
Amala's
to
afraid of her. Caradwin doesn't like her. And she just bowed to your shaman.
And Gear goes, everybody's afraid of her? Sounds about right.
Oh, and Amala helps her up. He's like, I'm way too tired for that. Don't do that. You know, we're tired. It's I don't know what it is. It's...
I said I had a present for you, but I see you've already got one. And points to your
What?
robe. Points to the robe that Gear made for you.
Oh, yeah. What we really need right now is just a place to sleep. How's your barrier?
Of course. The barrier is fine, and a smaller one here. And you look to the side, and she is offering you her hut. And you can see it glows. It's got its own ward. You're so exhausted, you can see that sort of shadow light magic that she's using. You also realize she's been using both all along. This is a combination of shadow and light.
I probably don't notice any such thing.
Just
until after I
yeah,
sleep.
and that's it's there if you choose. Yeah, but you'll see it in the morning at the very least, or when we finally wake up. But yes,
Caradwin's
she
just
offers
like falling
us,
asleep on her horse, like beside her horse,
Yeah.
like leaning against it, like.
and Weena and a couple of the other villagers take you to. She's very insistent, and you're too tired to resist, really. And she takes you to her hut, which has
can't-
been fitted out with beds.
Yeah,
she
well,
just
and
lays you
Amala
down.
takes her normal place in the trundle bed at the foot. I mean, because that's
Followed by a
Where the
squad
apprentice
of
always sits
crows, Viawilla, and the White Mane.
Yeah, everybody piles in, and Weena's like, and yeah, the crows are inside. They're standing on stuff. They're hopping around on the top of the kettle,
and Strongcaw looks at her.
looking at Weena. Weena won't make eye contact. Yeah. Strongcod jumps to
When-
the back of another chair and spends like a number of minutes playing that I'm going to make you look at me. I'm going to make you look at me. And Weena's just... She looks
So-
not just exhausted from her experience, you realize she looks defeated.
And right before, she lays down, Amala reaches out and pats her arm and spends her last light. I mean, not the very last. I still have the one from Zon, but
Yeah.
Miss pats her and gives her the last light and then collapses into her bed. Doesn't even say anything about it.
I just
So what kind
imagine just this
Dreams are we gonna have
dog
today,
pile of all of us. Just dog.
Yeah, just everybody just hits
Us
their
and our
own beds
critters
and yeah.
I have this image in my head of Gear's first meeting with Weena, and he's so tired that he's like nodding off, but you can't tell because his eyes are still open. He's just like, she's like talking to him, and he's just like, Doesn't even remember it.
Yeah, I'll talk to this one. He's still awake. Yeah. The wolf friend comes over and bumps him, and he just falls over. Thunk.
So I gather we sojourn, and since we're in my master's thing, I gather I should do the sojourn roll.
I think that seems perfectly reasonable.
Which is
Says the guy at 0 spirit.
Pay the price. It's stressful. From a
All
Wake
right,
up with
so-
a with an owl standing
here it is,
on
under
one of my eyes.
relationship
Yeah.
okay.
Relationship
Yes, we
moves.
share a bond.
Sojourn, yeah, this has got to be a +2
Heart.
at least.
Heart plus a bond.
Yeah.
Strong hit.
Plus-
Oh, that's like, yeah, a 10
Wait, I
over a
haven't
5
done
and
it
a
yet. I
1.
haven't
No,
done
she
it
hasn't
yet.
done it yet.
Oh, I
haven't
just
done
took
it
the
yet.
last roll that was there. I was just like, yeah, let's go with that. That looks good. I
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's just the sojourn +1.
Oh dear. That's not what I said at all.
You're too tired.
You find no help here. Pay the price. It is stressful.
Or a weak hit,
Oh.
just take one.
Oh,
I mean,
causes
it
a
does.
delay. It causes
Well,
a delay.
so-
We sleep a day and a half instead
Well,
of half a day.
Either that or we don't sleep very well because at least Amala doesn't sleep very well because Kinheim is not right. And so, she gets just a few hours and then she gets up and she stumbles out and she stops to cough and then,
It's smoky in the air,
It's smoky, and the fire smoke triggers me every time. Anyways, and she just sort of stumbles out and kind of in a haze, and whoever is doing any sort of work, and she probably gets out, to people sort of clearing out the fields,
Yeah.
to try and recuperate there. And so she just sort of goes out and starts doing what she would normally do if this happened while she was here.
Sure. I
So
think
when you
Bill
guys
would
wake
just
up,
yeah.
so when you guys wake up, Amala's not there.
Right. I think Bill, honestly, at this point would just sleep like the clock a round and a half sort of thing, and if nobody wakes him up, he's just going to miss a day. He was at 0 spirit and he gained nothing back, so yeah, he's curled up.
Gear would sleep long enough to get a decent rest, but would have to go out to look in the trees to see what he was hearing all night.
Yep.
The rats scurrying about.
So gather information.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Dire
let's see what the dice say. Dire chinchillas. Gather information.
Gather some information.
I'm gonna leverage the white mane in this. Oh hey.
That is a strong hit. Helpful
dire
and
chinchillas.
specific.
It's weird that I have to check for a strong hit, but not for a weak hit.
You know what always know what a weak hit is. You get what you want, but there's a complication.
Oh, and take
And a miss,
+2
pay the price.
momentum.
Strong hit? What do you mean success? I don't understand.
What do you
I
mean
can't
we
spell
get
this word.
information we want that helps us?
And nothing bad happens? What do you mean nothing bad happens? This game sucks.
Actually,
Oh,
if
yeah.
Austin gets a strong hit, if Austin gets a strong hit, it means we're overrun by bone walkers.
Bone walkers, yes, yeah, that's
Oh no.
that's what he
we
sees.
are
Everybody
overrun
else
by
sees
something.
strong hit. He sees bone walkers.
Bone walkers. So
Yeah,
Gear is
well.
out in the forest and
Oh.
he's listening, and the rats are still there.
Yes, you need to answer this question.
And it's strange because he can't hear them normally. It's only when he actually sits there and attunes to it and listens. He clears his mind and he listens like he taught Amala, like he taught Aiden. And he closes his eyes and he listens, and it's almost as if he's searching, and when he turns his hearing towards something, the rats scatter back into the darkness just out of sight. They know, but there's still that chittering and the click of their nails against every surface in the trees, and the whisper of the rats speaking to each other, gossiping, knowing that Gear is trying to find them, and him knowing that they're not actually rats, but something else is out there.
The
He
rat
just-
spirit.
The rat spirit. Something he can't quite find yet, but something that knows that he's listening.
It's a strong hit. So, knowing that, how is that helpful to Gear?
He knows that he was not hallucinating before. He knows that something is following the group.
Something
knows that-
intelligent.
Something that does not want to be seen yet. And he knows it's not actually a pack of rats. That's just how it manifests in his extension of his consciousness.
That makes sense. Yeah, you sleep for the day, and then as it gets dark, you go out into the darkness and experience this. Thus, not getting much sleep that night either. Caradwin, you're the last one too.
Yeah, she'll sleep enough, but fitfully. Mainly riddled with nightmares and stuff like that. So, always the fun things. And so she'll kind of wake up at a odd time where it's like she's in that haze of didn't get enough sleep but got too much sleep that you get.
Plus, it's nighttime. You wake up just in time that your body's trying to tell you it's time to go to sleep. And
Yeah, the whole internal clock is off. It's just
yeah,
annoying. And so, but she wakes up jittery kind of from nightmares and just what ifs and worrying and all these things that have recently happened. And so goes out and will probably take care of the horses that we just kind of left to the care of Kinheim.
Yeah.
After running them ragged too, so she will be doing that kind of as a meditative
so
thing.
yeah, as you get out there to take care of Brahm and company, you find one of the local lads has gathered them up, and also the other rest of the local livestock, and is kind of having to herd them because everything outside the fence is burnt. So he's kind of having to be actively shepherding them to keep them close to town. I'm assuming you sort of just fall into helping him with that once you figure out that the horses are okay.
Yeah, she'll kind of help out. And I mean, she, at least at the very least, she has good control of Brahm and can get him to behave when he probably was not behaving.
Yeah, and I think at this point
kid.
the other three would probably be following Brahm pretty severely. I mean, he's one that him and the Wolfren were the ones that led them out of the forest. So Brahm is pretty clearly the dominant horse in this group.
Yeah. So I imagine
horse.
he was being kind of a hard head for the poor kid, but Carrot was able to get him to cooperate and not be a tit.
So with that, I think it's fair to say a day and a half passes, right? I mean, it's because it's a whole night plus the day. We've wasted a day of travel. That's kind of what the Oracle told us, right? So at the end of the next night, that second morning, we pack up.
Are we gonna try sojourning again to see how restful the second night is?
Is that because we do get year? I was wondering about that, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, let's do that. Let's have a sojourn. Give us a chance to recover a little bit. So heart +1. There's the strong hit we were looking for. So +1 health, +1 spirit. Actually, you get 2, right?
We get
Yeah,
two,
we get
yeah.
2.
You get a pick, yeah. Clear condition.
Oh, if you share a bond,
or-
choose one more. So it's actually 3, is it?
3. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna take one of the provisions so that we get all of our supply back.
Okay, I'm taking 3 spirit because that still leaves me in bad shape.
Wait, no, Sojourn, you can recover, take +2 spirit. That would just be one selection.
That's just one.
Oh right, okay. I only read the top bit, so yeah. I
Yeah,
can
if
get
you
back up to
recover,
5
you
then.
can take recover 3 times and get all of your spirit back.
That's basically what I just did. Yeah. Oh, the bad dreams, where he kills himself over and over again. But by the end of the night, he's okay with it because he wasn't killing him. He was killing what he used to be, making way for what he is to become. So at the end of the second night, he wakes up okay. That'll work for now. So, where are we off to?
I think we need to make a beeline for the spirit animals. Do we know how many are there?
9.
Yep.
And we have 2. The one for the hinterlands and the one for
The Deep Wilds.
the deep
The Deep
wilds.
Wilds, yeah.
So should we be heading north? I mean, we're in the Tempest Hills right now.
Mm-hmm. We don't have the spirit for that one.
Well, what do you think? And he points at Gear. You're the one they keep flocking to.
And he says,
Okay, wait, which one is the hinterlands is white, right?
no, the
That
hinterlands
hence
was
is
the red crest.
Uilla.
Is red, right. Okay, so the hinterlands is red. We have that one.
The Deep Wilds was the white mane.
Is the white mane, right.
She's marking it on our map.
The Havens
The Deep
is
Wilds is number 3. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and
And
number
the
5.
Havens,
The Havens is the Midnight Mantle.
yeah, so that's the black one.
That would be purple.
Oh, purple.
Purple. Yeah.
Apologies.
Purple. And that was which one again? Haven?
Number
5.
5.
5. Here's 5. So we know about it, but it's not secured yet.
Yeah, we don't have it.
Yeah.
And then we think that the Veiled Mountains, number 8, is the
Blue.
Wyvern, yeah, the
Right. And then the deer, right? The green deer.
well that was Shenda.
No, that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Shenda.
Right.
The green
Right. I thought that
So
was
we
another
know
of the
about
spirit
that
animals.
one. That one's blue, and actually that one's in bad shape.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
And
that one's
I
captured.
think we don't know for certain if it's the Veiled Mountains or the Shattered Wastes that one belongs to, but it's one of those 2.
From the north.
So I think we need to look at. I mean, we're here at 7. You know, do we go north and work down? Do we start here in the Tempest Hills?
Can you feel any of them from here?
And Gear, do you know what the other animals are?
Shakes his head.
No, I don't know. We can try. We can head north. We can see if we can find something.
Well, if we ain't got no direction for that, we certainly got one for someone else. And if we're headed towards Frostmouth and we happens along one of these little fellers, I'm sure we can add them to the menagerie. It's as good a direction as any if we ain't got none.
And it's possible one of our history keepers will know something about animal spirits. We don't
Now,
have
that
shamans,
does mean
but
that does mean you going home, miss.
yeah, it does. It's not the way I planned to go home, but if it's what we have to do, we do it. Besides, I have some questions for Vadden.
I'll just bet you do. I'll just bet you do. Well then, are we off?
And we go to the north.
And I think rather than walk out that gate tonight, we should probably walk out that gate next week. It is quarter of the hour, so we will take these next couple minutes first of all to thank you guys. That was another intense night. Holy cow! It started off kind of gently and then just went dark, and that's what we're doing. It's amazing. I love the idea that it's so much about exploring these characters more than anything else. Although we did roll a hell of a pile of dice tonight too, so
Yeah,
An unusual amount.
a
yeah,
large
for us.
amount of dice. Yes,
a lot of them were
So,
strong hits. To be fair,
there was. We
but-
did. Yeah, we did. We were. That's okay. I got rid of all the ones over in Australia. Fear not. All the ones in the world were burned in 2 weeks in Australia. I can assure you. I am a meme in Australia about how many. I am the Will Wheaton that they sent over from North America to be punished by the dice in Australia. But we'll get to that in a minute because I want to talk about you guys first.
Us guys.
Yeah, you guys. We'll start with you because you went, us guys, like you didn't know, like I do this every friggin' week. Robin, some amazing art. You did some Mirrodel art that made me, it shook me. Where can people find it?
You can find it on my Twitter, which is Thunderscape7, just like it is most places. And also it's on our Discord server. And I believe I also added it to my Facebook page, which is also Thunderscape7. And yeah, it was some good feel-good feels. You wouldn't know the tone of the story from those.
No, that's a great.
drawings.
The one with the antlers on it. I'm just thinking that's untreated animal. Yeah, it was magnificent. But speaking of the Discord, I posted that in chat as well. Join us there. It is a public Discord. We just did that a couple weeks ago. Pop in, and this is a co-op game, so we do not know what's going on. So join us in the chat over in Discord, and there's every chance that we might use one of your ideas next week. So how many games offer you that? Hey Solar, I have seen those hearts all night and right back at you. Great big purple hearts right back at you all night long. Karis, I know you just had a major weekend. It's longer than that block of text that we just had to use to explain who you are. Oh, and the wiki. Yes, we'll get the wiki right away. But first, Karis.
So the epic weekend last weekend, which had what, 5 epics, 7 other Adventure League games, drawings, all sorts of stuff. We raised over $5,500.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
So it's like, yes, going
Yeah.
to COVID-19 response.
Oh, good causes and good feels. I love
so
it.
that was, yeah, that was.
So how many hours did you actually DM that weekend?
I only DM'd one of them. I was doing some other stuff around some of the other stuff and all, but
I know how Daddy
one of the
Warbucks
games
stuff
for that,
works.
and I was
Yeah.
yeah.
Were you one of those people? Were you one of those Daddy Warbucks people in this one that comes around and interrupts games and causes things to go horribly wrong?
No, I wasn't a one. I almost wanted. I kind of wanted to be a wandering monster, but I kind of wanted to also sort of pace myself a bit.
Sure.
So, yeah, because I mean the
that is
number of
awesome.
people, we have to shuffle people around tables because lots of people drop, and then you have walk-ins coming on, and then
Sure.
and we were trying out new stuff with the voice, creating the voice channels, and that was kind of interesting. It actually worked pretty well, but That was kind of
Excellent.
interesting.
So learning experience as well as a good cause, getting
It
a lot of
was
money.
it was good. It was good. And then I celebrated on Tuesday by going dark, dark, dark with that guy.
with the DM, who we will get to in a second. But first, I do want to
That's
skip
kinda
back. Yes, we forgot when we were talking to Robin to talk about the wiki.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it was updated again today. You're always updating it. It's amazing. It's
I
encyclopedic.
Because I watch back the old episodes on Thursday mornings, and so then I update the episode descriptions on the wiki. But yeah, there's
So
all kinds of information on all of our different characters and NPCs and PCs, which are all played by the PCs.
well, the really cool part is a lot of wikis just sort of die off over time, and this one has stayed current. So if you anybody who's viewing this, if you've got friends that you think might enjoy watching this as much as you do, and I mean some of you show up every week, so it must be enjoying it. If you got other people that I think would enjoy it as much, hook them up with us, get them over here, and they can catch up on the wiki. They don't have to watch 21 back episodes. You can, or watch live, and if you don't get something, have the wiki open in another window, pop it open, and have a look on the break, and you'll be caught up in no time. But
there's still some things I want to get done on there and add some information to update the characters, but yeah.
Wikipedia is using up all the space on the internet. Otherwise, you'd fill that too. It's amazing. But there was a hint of what our final player does during the rest of the week. 4 nights a week you're gaming now? Yeah, give us a rundown on
Yes.
that.
I play Monday nights with a group of all DMs, so it's a good place to practice my skills and show off for a couple people who are better at some things than I am and not as good at others. So it's an awesome place to learn from people who are passionate about the same thing you are. On Tuesday, I was encouraged to start a game in a very dark theme, and luckily I had an adventure built that I could just turn the dark knob on. And so
Yeah.
I believe if I had to take a direct quote from Tuesday's game, I would quote the wonderful scholar Cara Sophia. She said, and I quote directly, "Oh, that's where the darkness is."
Like there was a
This is
doubt.
from people who play in this game who went, you know what, I'd like to play in a dark game. So yes, anybody who's watching, it gets darker than this. And then Wednesday, two of you are in my game, and then Thursday
imagine
you're back here,
that
so, yeah.
Bone Walker's meme guy,
Yeah.
just like all the time though, and nobody to go.
Give him give him
Pump
the
the brakes,
DM
kid."
rules. The DM rule.
Oh
yes,
yeah,
break,
I mean,
kid.
well, was it Tuesday during the day? I before we played, I asked, so when do we get dark?
I did force one of my players to walk around without both of his hands for a little while. That was pretty fun.
That's fair.
One of our characters
I
is
know
a
who you must have
Warforged,
done
and
Yeah,
that
to
too,
be
and I'm
fair,
sure
it's
he
a
went along with it.
Warforged.
Yeah.
I didn't actually chop their hands off. They're Warforged, but
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
and
right.
I guess that leaves me. I better do this before I get the stink eye from Karis. On Monday, I'm over on Avalon Knights Academy, part of the Too Many Warlocks game on Mondays. Sundays is the Mercs of Mischief. It's 2 groups, 8 people, 1 world, 1 magnificent dungeon master by the name of Puck, Lord of Chaos, benevolent dungeon master, and exceptional storyteller. It's a pleasure to work with him and play in his games. And then on Wednesday morning in the wee hours, I get up and go and play with a bunch of crazy Australians, a game of Starfinder, which I'm having a really good time, almost dying repeatedly in. I believe in 3 episodes, I think I just made double digits in the number of ones that I've rolled. It's either 9 or 10 in 3 episodes. So
Yeah, 3 episodes, right?
I'm making poor Michael, the Dead Aussie Gamer, work really hard not to kill me. And then Thursdays I come and do this, and then I make up for all that tension on Friday nights, tomorrow night here on Dirty 20 Gaming with the Fun Shot Fridays, where I get together with some people and we just get goofy. We do these little Grant Howitt one-shots. There's a couple left in the series, and then official announcement. I think it's 3 or 4 weeks from now. We are going to Fun Shot Friday, the game that we built one Fun Shot Friday when some people couldn't show up, and we built a nearly infinitely flexible one-shot generator, and we're going to play that sometime during next month. But tomorrow, yes.
No, keep going because
I was just gonna
tomorrow's
say,
still on the Fun Shot Friday theme.
Yeah, tomorrow is the Fun Shot Fridays, and tomorrow we are playing. What are we playing tomorrow? Kobold Encounter. Yes, they are going to be tiny, lizardy folks, very fragile and very easy to break, who are desperately trying to impress their dragon lords by gathering treasure from another dragon's horde without getting killed. And that's going to be tomorrow night.
And failing.
And probably failing miserably because, I mean, they're kobolds. And as we know from such a great personage as the creator of the, well, not the creator of the kobold, but the Chris Perkins, who played, as we know, everything he says is canon. Therefore, they have a lifespan of 17 days, and it's always their 17th day birthday. So we will send 3 of them tomorrow night, trying to impress their dragon master. Anything anybody else wants to add before I do?
Don't you have another role at the Avalon Knights Academy?
Well, I do. I wasn't going to say anything because it doesn't get streamed, so nobody can see it.
Yes, but it is an integral part of the academy.
It is a great joy for me to do. I got to do it this afternoon before I came here. We have a program called Dorm Life. This is for our viewers of the Mercs of Mischief channel who have no experience playing RPGs. And they're brave enough to sign up for the program, and I take them through a session 0 where we build characters and go over the basic rules, table etiquette, lines and veils, and all those wonderful things that make a good session 0, and create a character the right way, which is backstory first, stats last. And then the next week, we take them on an adventure based in exactly the same Avalon Knights Keep that we adventure in every Sunday and Monday. Puck has given me his blessing to allow them to play in his world, and we have run 2 groups through so far, and had a great time with both of them. It's one of thank you for bringing it up, and thank you for making me talk about it. It's one of the things, to be honest, that I'm proudest of all the things that I do. I always want to get new players into this game, and yeah, thank you. And on the subject of thank yous, let's do the 5, because it's Thursday and there's always 5 on Thursdays. Thank you, Robin. I enjoy every week. Thank you, Karis. Always amazing. Thank you, Austin. Always dark. I mean, that's you. There's a video I did that talks about my favorite kind of players, and Dark Bastard is one of them, and this is the guy I was thinking about when I wrote that bit. So
I felt personally attacked.
You should have felt personally blessed, because no table is complete without a Dark Bastard.
I think you told me about that. You said, watch a video. I was thinking about you, and I was watching it, and the first couple you were talking about, I was like, is that me? Nah. Is that me? Nah. The Dark Bastard. Oh, fuck. No questions after that.
And then 2 more thank yous. One of them to all the folks who watched on Twitch tonight and go along for this ride live. And the last one for all the people on YouTube that wait until I finally get around to posting it in a couple of days and watch it voluntarily of their own free will over there on Dirty 20 Gaming YouTube. Everybody that does that, thank you. I still cannot believe that people watch us play games. We are so lucky. Be nice to each other. We'll see you next week. Bye.